This is Tom's Hobbies, and today we are making tuna poke bowls. The first step to making tuna poke is to make your base for the bowl. So we use white rice. I like a decent white rice. This is jasmine rice. We got this at our local Harris Teeter. It's good. Also, when it comes to cooking the rice, I use a rice cooker. If you don't have one of these things, they are fantastic. It makes everything so much easier. Kind of set it and forget it, and it does all the work for you. The next step is to rinse your rice, okay? I've measured out 2 cups of rice here. Sometimes you could do a little bit more. We have 2 hungry boys. Sometimes we'll cook a whole bag. Just depends if we want leftovers for another meal, but I'm gonna start with 2 cups here. The reason why you rinse your rice is because it gets the starch off. A lot of people miss this step, and it really helps your rice. If you get the starch off, it's just cleaner, tastes a lot better, and it's not that hard to do. So take a couple minutes and just kind of rinse it, move it around with my hand a little bit, and just, 2 minutes, get the starch off. Okay, now I've rinsed my rice and I've put it in the rice cooker here. Remember, 2 cups of rice and I use 4 cups of water. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio. All you have to do is put the rice in there, water on top, and click that button and the rice cooker does the rest. Kind of set it and forget it, like I mentioned. This thing will pop up when it's done, and then you can make your sushi rice. All right, while we're waiting for the rice to cook, I'd like to tell you a story about where this tuna came from. About a month ago, we had a chance to go to Florida on spring break as a family and had a blast. But one thing my older son and I did was go deep sea fishing. We went out of Jupiter, Florida, and specifically we're targeting tuna, blackfin tuna, and we were pretty successful. So half-a-day charter, had a chance to reel in a couple monsters, or what I would consider a monster. Mine was 30 pounds, my son's was 25. We got a bunch of tuna. We've been eating it for the past month, and we're getting down to the last couple pieces, and this is what we do. I just kind of freezer seal it, throw it in the freezer. You do want to eat it relatively quickly after you catch it. So, a month, maybe 2 months, and we've been using this quite a bit to make tuna poke. Okay, now we're gonna make our actual tuna poke. What you do first is pull it out of the vacuum bag and dry it off, pat it dry with a paper towel. So once you have that, you've got a nice fillet of tuna here. This was filleted on the dock right out of the ocean, so it is considered sashimi grade. And the first step is to cut it into strips. I like to cut it into little dice-sized chunks. So I'm going to show you the size that I prefer, and you could go larger, you could go smaller. It's really up to you, but I go, about like this right here, and you've got some smaller pieces towards the tail end, larger towards the end, but basically about that size chunk is perfect in my opinion. So we're gonna finish dicing this up, work on 2 tuna fillets, and then I will show you how to make the poke. The other thing that's important when you're cutting fish is you want to make sure you have a really sharp knife. I'm using a fillet knife. It's actually a folding fillet knife. I've got this, I've had it for a couple months, and really good point, stays sharp. Obviously I do sharpen it every now and then, but this is something that's just good for me to carry into the field when we're fishing, or need to fillet a fish, or just to use in the kitchen, to be honest with you. Great knife. So I mentioned this before, but this is sashimi grade. You can eat it raw. And every now and then I like to test the product. Honestly, it tastes just as fresh as the day we caught it. Amazing. We've got our tuna cut up into bite-sized chunks. We're going to make the poke. So you can see there's a decent amount of tuna in here. It's definitely enough to feed a family of 4, including 2 boys. So that's good. And we do like having leftovers. Sometimes I'll make a little bit more. This weekend we've got a baseball tournament, so we're going to try to eat all this tonight and not have any leftovers going into the weekend. But 3 ingredients. There's a bunch of recipes out there. Some people make theirs with mayonnaise. You can make it spicy. You could put seaweed in it. You could do a ton of different things. So we keep ours pretty simple. So I've got 3 ingredients here. Soy sauce is 1. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit. I use Kikkoman's low sodium, you know, just because we don't need all that salt. And then I've got some sesame oil here. All of this stuff just comes from Harris Teeter, the local grocery store. But do a couple dabs of that. And I don't really have a set amount. I've done this enough where I go by feel. And then the last ingredient that goes in ours is sesame seeds. White, black, it doesn't matter. We've got white. Open the top. Pour those in. And now we're going to mix it up. So just give it a good stir. And you can kind of tell, this to me already looks like I may want a little more of that soy sauce. Let's see here. And again, if you like it spicy, you could put some sriracha, mayo, just make it your own. Okay, that looks good. I am making this ahead of time. We cover it, put it in the fridge, and you know it's there. This is a great weekday meal. It's easy to put together. You could do it in pieces, cook the rice, make the poke, and then the toppings are very easy. We'll show you that later in the video. Let's see if I could do this one try. I do not like saran wrap, and it does not like me. Oh, there you go. Look, today it looks like we're getting along. All right. All right, now our rice is done here. The button is just popped. I'm going to unplug that. Bring this over here. And the next thing you want to do is just put your rice in a bowl and cool it off. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. All right, yeah, so you want to refrigerate this a little bit when you're making sushi rice. You don't want it hot. You want to cool it off a couple hours. Again, I'm making this earlier in the day, so I've got plenty of time, and we'll finish it a little later this afternoon. Okay, let's make some sushi rice. At this point, we've had the rice cooling off in the refrigerator for a little while now, and I am here with the rest of my ingredients to make that rice. There's 3 ingredients, and it's a specific ratio. It's a 9-6-1 ratio. We've got rice vinegar here that is 9 tablespoons. I've already measured it out here behind me, but you know, just take a measuring cup or measuring spoon, whatever you need, and 9 tablespoons of sushi rice vinegar, 6 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of salt. So what you're gonna do is mix all of this together. I use a measuring cup here, pour the sugar in, and that does look like a lot. This is a very specific recipe for 2 cups of rice. We probably have a little more, but it actually, you'll see it goes a long way. So, all right, I'm gonna make sure that is all mixed up nice and well. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is pour this over our rice. And I like to get it down on the sides, and then the rest just right over the top. Make sure you get everything out. And then we are going to mix this together. I've got a little rice spoon. Came with my rice cooker. Let's see. Break it up a little bit, incorporate everything. we go. It's as easy as that. Sushi rice is ready. You could put this aside, wrap it up, put it back in the refrigerator, and you can use this for anything. Poke bowls, you make your own sushi. Our boys love it as just a regular side if we grill some fish or eat some vegetables, whatever the case may be. But here's your sushi rice. All right, here we are. We are in the final stages. This is what I call poke bowl prep. We've chopped up some bell peppers here. I've got a couple sweet peppers, and a lot of this is really just about getting some color to the bowl. I think a nice, colorful poke bowl presents well. If you're having guests, they'll enjoy it. So I'm just going to do a rough chop on some of these while I show you the other ingredients, and then I'll show you how we kind of prep and make a line for our poke bowls. Let's see, get a couple of these chopped up here. Okay. All right. Some ingredients that I have for my poke bowls. Let's start with the base. Obviously, is the sushi rice. I like to add some vegetable slaw. You can do sliced carrots. You can skip this altogether, but this has got some cabbage in it, green cabbage, red cabbage, broccoli, and carrots. I find that goes well with it. We've got some shelled edamame, store-bought. I didn't shell it myself, but that's always good. The kids love that. This is some sea breeze seaweed salad that I pick up in the sushi section of our local Harris Teeter. That's always good on it. Of course, we've got bell peppers, sweet peppers, and then let's get into the sauce here. You know, I've got a little bit of extra soy sauce. My younger son loves this. He eats it up. Sriracha mayo. I mentioned earlier, some people put mayonnaise on their poke. That's a little spicy. It's not too bad. I've got 3 different kinds of Japanese barbecue sauce here, and I absolutely love this stuff. Well, I've got 2 on display. Sweet honey. Here's a hot and spicy, and I know we've got a regular. We use that quite a bit, so any one of those will work. Obviously, some kimchi on the side. That's for me. Sriracha, again, if you like that, want to make it spicy. And then final toppings that go on include some rice seasoning. This is like a mix of sesame seeds, dried seaweed, and just, again, some extra color. And then sesame seeds as well. So that's it for the ingredients. Next, I'm going to show you how we set this up. Here we are again. We are doing the poke bowl line. I want to tell you guys about a little cheat that I have. I'm pretty organized when it comes to food storage, and presentation as well. So I use these things called deli containers. You could get a whole pack off Amazon. What I love about these is it's not like Tupperware. Tupperware's all different shapes and sizes. These are 1 pint containers, half pint, quarter pint, and they stack and they fit incredibly well in your drawers, your cabinets, whatever you need, and they also work well in the fridge. So in terms of presentation, you can see it's also very consistent. I've got just things set out, so if I'm entertaining or we need to go quickly, it's all just set and ready to go. So I've got my kimchi back here. Pour that, and then lastly, we're going to do the seaweed. Okay, that's it. We're going to throw this stuff away. We're good to go. The boys are pretty close to getting home from school. One thing we do a lot is play baseball. So there are so many weeknights where I've got to have dinner prepared and ready to go. They absolutely love this meal. It's super easy to bring everything out of the fridge, set it up on the counter, let them build their own bowls and eat away. And you could do that in as little as 10-15 minutes, or sit down and enjoy the meal with friends. We have made it to dinner time. I've got two hungry boys here. They're itching to get into this, so we're gonna get started. We've got everything laid out. You see the spread that I was talking about, and we're gonna let them dig in. So, Thomas, you caught the tuna. Why don't you make the first bowl? Show us how it's done.
Hungry boy.
Sawyer, you're next. Thomas, while you're dishing that up, how did it feel to catch those tuna?
Good.
Did they fight?
Yeah, fought hard.
You want to dish up your rice?
Mm-hmm.
What did you just sprinkle on that?
It's seaweed seasoning.
This is the rice seasoning. You want to dish up your tuna?
Mm-hmm.
Take a lick.
All right, give us a taste test.
Really good. Really, really good.
Well, folks, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to enjoy this tuna dinner, and looking forward to making plenty of videos in the future. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and follow our channel.